Good morning, gentlemen of St. David's. I'm talking to you today, as you know, because we are obviously not on campus. But more importantly, I'm talking to you because we are at home in the midst of not only the challenges that are facing all of us from COVID, ongoing issues and regulations, and the ongoing closure of schools, but more importantly, as we head towards Mandela Day on the weekend, we are faced with a complete turmoil in our country, an upheaval that is hard sometimes to get our heads around, to understand fully. Just as we were focused on vaccinating, on getting solutions to the COVID issues, violence has broken out. And it is a good reminder to all of us that violence always begets violence, and it creates more and more of it each day. So I want to focus today just on talking to you very briefly about how Mandela might have approached this particular thing. And I went back to a saying of his which reads that it is so easy to break down and to destroy, but the real heroes are those who make peace and who build. And I want you to think a little bit about that as you try and get your own heads around what's happening. You've seen it on social media. It's amplified what's happened multifold. For many, their whole lives have been changed. For some, that's changed irrevocably. And as we talk about it, we've been talking in COVID about saving lives and livelihood. The upheavals and the unrest have done exactly that. They've broken down both lives and livelihoods. And I think as we debate the causes, as we discuss what happened, as we discuss whose fault it is, how it's going to be solved, who's going to deal with it, there are so many different views and answers, as with everything. But I want to remind you as well, historically, that it is often the darkest, just before solutions come. There are many things which have precipitated the current upheavals. And the change in 1994, when we were about to go into a democratic dispensation, the problems that were in the areas that they are now, in KZN and Gauteng in particular, were enormous. And we couldn't really see much of a solution beyond that. We had to live through it. We had to work through it. And so I want to talk to you about your choices today and your responses, because those are very important. Your anger is understandable. But gentlemen, I will also remind you that in dealing with issues like this, pragmatism is even more important than anger. You are going to be leaders. You are leading right now. And your day-to-day choice needs to be focused on the respect that we try and teach and that we try and live as Marists, and on our Marist values, in particular now, our value of family spirit and how we come together and how we support each other. Some of our own families have been hugely affected by this. Boys who live in Alexandra and some of the inner city Joburg areas have had real problems, and we need to keep supporting our mates and our friends in that as well. But we have to make a choice as to how we're going to respond. Whether we're going to be just spectators, whether we're going to be just observers, whether we're going to stand there and criticize and complain and all the rest of it, or whether we're going to ask, is there really a role for us? Is there something we can do? Is there something we should do at this particular time? And I'll remind you that there's a lot that can be done. And some of the basics are, don't spread fake news. Much as it sounds exciting and wonderful, spread some of the good news too. Spread some of the cleanup operations, spread some of the support that has sprung into action, spread some of the actions that have convinced me that, as always, the majority of South Africans are peace-loving, well-meaning and focused people. You can go out there and complain. You can go out there and retreat into small negative factionalism. But you can also go out there and be calm and be strong, and in your discussions with people, in your discussions with others, to remember that. And I'll remind you as well that most importantly, it is to be kind. And a small act of kindness, small act of support that is within your means and within your space can make a huge difference to somebody who really has been traumatized by where we are. The other area I want to touch on, gentlemen, is the next 3.5 weeks of school. We're reaching to the end of term, and it's coming very quickly. As you know, as the college boys, you go into your exam period quite soon. And it's been hard to make decisions as to exactly how we do this. We do know that not only the COVID regulations and not only the unrest and upheavals that we've witnessed in the last week, but just the constant focus of being online, of not being connected in the way that we'd want to be connected, does affect all of us and has affected us again, much like it has over the last 18 months. And perhaps it's been worse in some ways, because this time we haven't been able to say we're doing this for the next month, because every week something slightly different has come our way and we've had to deal with that. I have just sent a letter to your parents, and in it we outline the focus for the next 3.5 weeks. And gents, what we've tried to do is we've tried to give you a hybrid of experience. We realize that you're tired. Your teachers are tired too. We realize that the anxiety of preparing for a set of exams is always big, and now perhaps even more so. So we've given you a hybrid of some days off to study, to work, of some online exams where you will actually be tested through your screens at home, as well as some on-campus exams. And we hope that that process and what we have sent to your parents, the new timetable which is on the app, and all the other areas that's given you the focus now to plan for the next 3.5 weeks, will allow you to be ready and ready for these exams. I do remind you that honesty and academic integrity is critical. It's critical for everybody. These exams are there to give guidance to you as to your progress, to give guidance to your teachers as to what has been covered well and what needs to be reinforced and confirmed next term again. Marks are not everything. And I really am going to say that again. I don't often say that, but I'm going to say it to you today. Marks are not everything. Doesn't mean you don't have to work and prepare. Of course you do. And I would expect you all to give it your best shot and to remember that if you do that, you are going to make the best progress, not only now, but in year-end exams and into subsequent years of academics. But I do want to remind you as well that it is not a critical factor that you have to do as perfectly well as you would want. Go out there, study, prepare, be ready for your exams, but do it honestly. Those of you that get kicked out of the online portals because of any indiscretions are going to discover that that's not what you want. It's not what you're going to want on an academic record. It's not going to be a focus for you. So just go and do the best you possibly can, and we will guide and walk with you as we always do on your academic journey. So gents, I'm going to finish here and just remind you as well that each day, go out there, be kind to those around you, be kind to yourself, be calm, don't allow yourself to get into a state, don't allow yourself to get into the type of ill-prepared sort of worry that will stop you from being the best you can be. Go out there and be prepared though, get ready for these exams. But above all, gents, as with everything, go out there and be yourself. That's all we would ever ask of you. I'm looking forward to seeing you all back on campus very soon, and there will be the opportunity for all of you to have that before the end of term. I look forward to that. I look forward to our final assembly. I look forward to all those things which will start drawing us back as a family, back together, back connected, and back on campus. So I look forward to that, but wish you all good luck for these exam weeks that are coming. Thank you very much.